Let's chat. We come today in our series to John chapter 15, verses 18 and 19. It says this: if the world hates you, know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you are not of this world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. As I read through the Gospels, I love to notice how honest Jesus is. That he holds to the truth regardless of who he's talking to. I think about the way he speaks to the Pharisees. You know, they claim Abraham as their father, and Jesus speaks to them very bluntly, and he says, no, actually, you're of your father, the devil. I think about the way that he deals with his followers, that he doesn't sugarcoat what it looks like to follow Christ, but instead he speaks the truth very vividly at times. There's one moment where there's a couple scenarios where people are saying, no, I want to follow you, Christ, and Jesus just very bluntly tells them, hey, look, foxes have holes and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. He's telling the followers, hey, if you want to follow me, know that it's not going to be easy. It's not a life of luxury. There's another moment where Jesus is speaking to his apostles, and he says, if anyone wants to follow me, he needs to deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me, saying, hey, this may require some suffering. I just love how honest he often is, and how he doesn't sugarcoat the life of being a disciple of Christ. And he does the same thing here in John 15. As he continues to speak and continues to give some last-minute lessons, he takes a look at his apostles and he says, hey, look, the world hates me, and so it's likely going to hate you. If you were to just behave like the world, then nothing would happen, right? They would take you in as its own, but I've called you to be different. A Christian is a different type of person. He has a different lifestyle. She has different habits. They have different goals. They're living for a different mission. They respond differently to the coronavirus. They respond differently to death in their family or death of a loved one. Christians are they're different people. But know this, if we're ever hated for our faith, if we're ever hated for our beliefs, if we're ever persecuted for preaching the gospel of Christ, then know this, we're in good company. We join in with the apostles who are all martyred for preaching the gospel. We join in with the prophets who are often persecuted for what they were teaching. And we join in with Jesus Christ, who was ultimately killed on behalf of me and you, so that we could have salvation. Christians are called to be different. We're not called to fit in. We're not called to go with the flow. We're a different type of person. Because of that, we may experience persecution. But Jesus eventually says this. If you read on to verse 26, he encourages the apostles by reminding them that the Holy Spirit's coming. He says in verse 26, but when the Helper comes, in the midst of our struggles, if we ever experience persecution, know that you're never alone. But for us as believers, we have the presence of God living within us, leading us, guiding us, comforting us, and helping us at all times.